Hello, I'm Glen Nagel, the Herbal Wise Guy, and I'm here to take you on an herb walk of the amazing medicinal and edible plants of the Northwest. I'm going to show you today how to pick stinging nettles. And stinging nettles, Urtica dioica, they have stinging hairs, and ouch, they can hurt you. You see the small hairs. These are actually primitive hypodermic needles. They're on the stem, the stalk, and the underside of the leaf, mostly on the ribs. They do not occur on the top of the leaf. These are not thorns, but these are actually needles that have a bulbous base, and they have a hollow stem that when you rub gently against them, they stick under your skin and the chemicals squeeze out of the bulbous base and into your, it's essentially a hypodermic needle. Nettles invented it first, and they will inject the chemical and cause the redness that we call urtication. If you've never been stung by nettles and you want to pick them, first thing you should probably do is just go out and get stung, see how reactive you are. Most people find the stinging as a mild reaction that lasts from 10 minutes to a half an hour. It will bring tears to kids' eyes. As adults, I'll show you how it feels. I'm going to show you how to get stung by nettles and to naturally treat it. So you think I'm crazy, but I've got my nettles here and then I'm going to sting it. So here's the nettles in my gloved hand. Here's my open skin. The nettles comes close. Ooh, I get scared. It's the casual contact. Ow! So we're going to look for reddening right in here, and you can start seeing the pale white skin I have is starting to feel red. It's warming. Now the stinging is actually therapeutic. The old Indian tribes of the Northwest, they used to sting themselves on long canoe journeys. They would be out in the canoe on the ocean, traveling great miles, and they were cold, and so they would sting themselves to warm up. So there is a warmth involved. All over the world where they have nettles, they would sting joints for arthritis because it brings the blood to the surface. We call that a counter-irritant. It's bringing the redness to the skin, and you can start seeing little welts were developed. It's been about 10 minutes since I've been stung by the stinging nettles. I no longer feel the sting, but the stings are still visible now. You can see the classic swollen, kind of fluid-filled sacs. Urticaria is what it's called. And so I'm going to apply some medicine to that so it doesn't hurt as much. And it's best to be done immediately. I've waited 10 minutes so that you can see the results of stinging. So if you do nothing in 10 minutes, it lessens. But to quicken the treatment, we're going to use an herb. This is a yellow dock. We're going to use that to treat the stinging nettle sting that I have. This is Rumex obtusifolia. It's found in the buckwheat family. So identifying characteristics, little red coloration and spots on the stem. Looks like buckwheat. What we're going to do is not use the leaf because the leaf doesn't have any healing properties per se, but it's this young leaf in this sheath. So we see these young leaves at the base of the plant. This is the part that we're going to use. So what we do is we want to cut at the base with our knife or clippers, and then we cut it off, and then we find that we can just pull the leaf out of the sheath. And this contains all that slimy mucus. So this is the thing we want to use right here on the, it's protection for the young leaf. And we take and we rub, and you can see how that can be strongly soothing, it's cooling, and it's anti-inflammatory. This is the perfect time of year to harvest nettles. And nettles are to be harvested at this time of year to eat. So this little 4 to 6 inch stalk is the perfect size for tenderness for doing your spring greens. And so if we steam this, it's going to be perfect. And so one of the ways, double glove like this, or wear some thick leather gloves. Find the nettle patches away from the roads, and all you have to do is grab a hold of it and snap it. And there's a lot of fiber in nettles. They're less in this time of year, but the fiber would be all in the stalk. So we collect a few like this. So you place these, they're nice and clean, not a lot of eaten bug marks, not any bird poop. These would be perfect to take home, lightly rinse. Place these in your steamer basket, steam until they're tender and wilted. So nettles, probably a little more steaming than you would spinach. You want to take a fork and be able to cut a fork through the stem. Here, that would show you that it's tender. The little stinging hairs, they disappear. It's amazing. They just wilt away. Put a little butter and a little garlic, and it's a tremendous spring green. One of the highest sources of chlorophyll and about 25% protein. So nettles are super high in protein. In fact, they really help the body assimilate protein, so they're really good for malnourishment. Nettles are like a herbal deconstruction crew. They come into waste ground, and these are introduced. They're not native, they're introduced, and they're considered an invasive species. If we look at this little area here, one nettle root got in here, and then eventually they all came in. And so if we want to see how they come, you have to dig up their roots. And these are how nettles, they go by runners. And knock the dirt off. And here the nettles never die. They're perennial. They just slow down in the winter. But you can see here's a little bit of nettle. At the nodes, it branches out and forms a fully developed nettle.